It's way past time to get rid of the tie in the NFL. Let's get rid of it in all sports, but let's start with the NFL because it's so unnecessary. Somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose. Let's get rid of the tie. Week 18 of the 2021 NFL season was definitely unique. The Indianapolis Colts were in the driver's seat Sunday, but they completely threw up a utter bum of a game against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who, even though they beat the Colts, are still the worst team in the league with a worse record, and for the second straight year, they get the first overall pick. So the Colts, they pretty much choked. The Pittsburgh Steelers, however, went out and defeated the Baltimore Ravens in overtime, which put them in position to make the playoffs. But there was a catch. If the Las Vegas Raiders tied on Sunday night, the Steelers would miss the playoffs, and both the Chargers and the Raiders would be in the playoffs for tying, while the team that won would miss out. And that led to some talk and whispers of possible collusion between the two teams, Raiders and Chargers. Both can get into the playoffs by virtue of a tie. Thankfully, they didn't do that. They went out there and they seemed to play pretty hard. It looked like the Raiders had control of the game until the end. The Chargers rallied and sent it into overtime. And they both played pretty hard in overtime, but towards the end, it looked like they were going to be satisfied with a tie. And then Chargers coach Staley called a timeout that stopped the clock, and the Raiders won the game. But the fact that a tie could have possibly determined the final spots in the playoffs is kind of troublesome. And the fact that two teams could have purposely or agreed to tie just so both of them can make the playoffs is kind of troublesome as well. It's just time to get rid of the tie. It's time to let these guys, I guess, use the college football format in overtime, so someone wins every single week and there's no threat of a tie determining really anything. I mean, who wants to have a tie beside their win-loss record, win-loss tie? It's time to get rid of the tie in the NFL. Come on. You see, I, as well as thousands of fans around the globe, would have been pretty upset, or not upset, but just bothered by the fact that the Pittsburgh Steelers, who went out and took care of business, while it wasn't pretty, they still went out and did what they had to do to beat the Ravens, would have missed the playoffs because two teams in the Raiders and Chargers who would find themselves in a situation in overtime to where, hey, we can stay tied and we both go to the playoffs. Well, that almost happened, actually, but thankfully it didn't, and one team wins and goes to the playoffs, one team loses and goes home, which is how it should be, but there still was that lingering issue of the tie. It shouldn't have been an issue. We shouldn't have ties in the NFL anymore. The Pittsburgh Steelers should have gone home that night knowing they were going to the playoffs, and we should have all been able to sit down in front of our televisions to watch the Raiders and Chargers knowing that one team was going home and one team was moving on, instead of, hey, they could possibly tie and they both move on. So, I think I have a lot of support here, I don't think many people like ties, so I think we should all band together and convince the NFL somehow, like we can really do that. But anyway, the NFL should end the tie. They should get rid of the tie and maybe use the college the college overtime format, or come up with one of their own, but somebody's got to win. Anyway, that's my take on this. Thank you.